Since its inception, the ethanol industry has had a profoundly positive impact on the U.S. economy and on rural America. Ethanol has enlarged and strengthened the market for American-grown corn, adding jobs in rural communities and spurring the innovation of new technologies. Ethanol is fueling rural America's future, one community at a time.
As ethanol plants have come into small towns and established themselves, they've provided for very well-paying jobs in that local community. Plus, they've stabilized the corn market price, and that income is going back into the local community.
According to Growth Energy, in 2011, ethanol production contributed more than $42 billion to the national gross domestic product and generated more than $4 billion in federal tax revenues.
Most industries are, they're moving out of the country where the ethanol industry moved in, and it's a big deal.
And in 2011 alone, the ethanol industry created and supported more than 400,000 new jobs across the country, jobs that cannot be exported or outsourced.
We've seen some other businesses develop, one of those being the trucking industry. We have several companies and farmers that work in driving trucks and hauling co-products and also hauling corn into our ethanol plant.
In addition to fueling job creation and reducing American dependence on foreign oil, ethanol production supports the livestock industry by producing dried distillers grains, or DDGs, a high-protein livestock feed and ethanol byproduct.
It's very important to have these ethanol plants in our general vicinity because there's lots of livestock operations around here. There's several cattle feeders and swine finishing operations, and it's important to them to be able to have an affordable feed source for those animals here locally.
According to the USDA, a metric ton of DDGs can replace, on average, 1.22 metric tons of corn and soybean meal.
A huge percentage that comes out the back door in DDGs that is more valuable per pound than it was when it went in, and makes the whole system work. And in truth, all we are is using something out of the corn and putting the rest of the corn back in the food chain.
Every 56-pound bushel of corn processed by a dry mill ethanol plant generates 2.8 gallons of ethanol and approximately 17.5 pounds of animal feed.
We've got a competitive edge because we have the resources here, but now to break that corn kernel down even farther and get the co-products out of the ethanol plants definitely gives us a cost-effective advantage.
Ethanol has made a big difference in this community. We have a big livestock concentration in the area, which has helped big on the distiller's grain, and it's lowered the consumer's price of gas considerably.
Ethanol is making a difference at the gas pump, too, representing nearly 10% of America's transportation fuel, according to the U.S. Department of Energy, and saving American consumers more than $35 billion per year. In fact, a University of Wisconsin and Iowa State University study found that in 2011, ethanol saved consumers an average of $1.09 per gallon. But how big is the market for American ethanol beyond E10? According to Growth Energy, more than 170 million cars, those manufactured since 2001, are eligible to use E15. And there are more than 16 million flex fuel vehicles on the road today, with more on the way. This demonstrates that there is a market ready for a less expensive, higher octane, more environmentally friendly alternative fuel. Clearly, we have the vehicles capable of using blends higher than E10, but consumers need greater access to stations capable of providing it, and the petroleum marketing industry's support to make that access a reality. Contributing to both food and fuel production, ethanol is helping to drive down gasoline prices for consumers and reduce carbon emissions, helping to provide a cleaner environment for everyone.
It's good for the environment. We're basically producing less emissions utilizing ethanol than utilizing standard gasoline.
I'm always looking for different bargains or opportunities at the pump to save. I want there to be a future for my kids, for my children, to allow them to have a cleaner, greener environment to live in.
Gas is cheaper, we know that, because of ethanol. We don't need to depend on foreign oil as much.
The ethanol industry is good for our nation. It will help decrease our dependency on foreign oil. It's a good local market for our farmers, producers to sell their grain, We don't have to export all of the grain that we used to do, and it gives them a lot of value for the corn that they produce.
Syngenta believes ethanol is an essential part of the energy equation, good for consumers, good for farmers, good for the environment, and good for American energy independence. By contributing to the innovation of new technologies like Enogen corn, Syngenta is investing in the future of rural America.
What makes me proud about Syngenta is we are the only company that has a seed technology that is improving the efficiency of ethanol production, and that technology is Enogen.
Enogen increases profitability for ethanol plants and can help save natural gas, electricity, and water. Savings shown here are for a 100 million gallon ethanol plant. Similar savings across the 14 billion gallon U.S. ethanol industry would generate enough natural gas to heat 750,000 homes for a year and enough electricity to light 1.5 million more, while saving water equal to 140 billion 8-ounce glasses. The reduction in CO2 emissions would be equivalent to removing approximately 630,000 passenger cars from the road each year. And Enogen growers receive an additional 40 cents per bushel on average.
I'm very proud to be a part of the ethanol industry because we do touch a lot of lives from both the national level and a local level.
It's a win for the farmer, it's a win for the ethanol plant, and in the end it's a win for the consumer. And anything we can do to increase what corn can do for our country is a good thing.
Ethanol is important for America. It's a superior product that touches and helps so many people in our country. It's great for fuel, it's great for feed, the whole process, it's great for the ag economy.
And it doesn't stop there. First-generation biofuels made from sugars and vegetable oils have become the foundation for the development of advanced biofuels from a broader range of feedstocks. Ethanol, whether from corn or from other biomass sources, is a fuel for today and tomorrow. Ethanol is creating good jobs and a cleaner environment. Ethanol is fueling rural America's future, one community at a time.
This community is definitely benefited by the ethanol plant being here. Whether they're invested in the ethanol plant or they buy gas from the local convenience store, they're definitely getting a benefit from the ethanol plant. This community is definitely making a better stride in progression down the road for a better, cleaner future.